Hello and welcome. My name is Neil Thrussell, and I'm really excited to have my friend Wayne Lee with us. And Wayne is a peak performance expert. He's a Hall of Fame speaker, an award-winning entertainer, and I can say he's awesome at it because I've been to some of his shows and performance. Welcome, Wayne.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to be here, Neil. It's just great to reconnect and have a chit chat and converse about what's yet to come.
Absolutely. So, Wayne, I met Wayne when he was uh, doing he's a hypnotist, and what I absolutely loved about Wayne is there's this fine line between where it's really humiliating. Some hypnotists will go there and humiliate a participant, and Wayne has chosen to take the high road, and I love that about you. And it's his shows are empowering and not disempowering. I really love that, and I've always respected that in you, Wayne.
Well, and it's my pleasure. It's the one show where everybody gets their clothes back at the end of the show.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fear associated with hypnosis, so I have a very strong, passionate desire to teach people about, well, so to speak, pulling back the layers of what it really is and how we're hypnotizing ourselves every day and how we can do it in a very fun, educational, empowering way. So I'm blessed that I get to share that with people and inspire people at the same time.
And yeah, so if we roll back time and we go to wherever it was in your wrestling career in high school or in high school or college, I suspect you had a version of success. And what did that version of success that the younger Wayne had then?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I just had to write one word down. And the word that came to me, and the word that I speak about as well as a good friend of mine, Jason Hewlett, talks about, he has a whole philosophy based on it, is called the promise. And when I was in grade 8, I had some success in wrestling. I mean, I first got beat up quite bad. And like anything, if you stick with it and you have some skills and you have some desire, you'll eventually get okay with it. And I remember doing okay and winning some tournaments. And it was in grade 9. I was actually in Southern Alberta. I remembered saying to myself, no matter what I do later on, I promise myself to do something that I love so much, like wrestling. So there was a feeling. And that feeling was, some people describe that as passion. Some people call it pure joy. I just knew that was my setting the bar high. And so I think that has guided me without settling to pursue that and enjoy the ride, so to speak.
Wonderful. So this calling, this knowing, did it come from the back of a cereal box, or did it come where do you think this came from, this knowing? You just woke up one day, or
I think it comes from your heart. And I think my take on things is that we're all here in a wonderful way, and we make meaning out of things. And the meaning I make out of things is that we've come here for a purpose, and it's a divine gift that we've been blessed to be alive, to be here, to be conscious, to be swimming in this beautiful, intelligent energy that we live in. And I have an acronym for the word HEART, which is harmonious energy and real truth. And when we talk about desire, we talk about heartfelt desire. And so I think for me, it was an understanding, and it wasn't something that I was just like struck by lightning and all of a sudden I woke up like this. But now looking back, and I think it was Kierkegaard said, life is lived forwards and is understood backwards. That there was this knowing in my heart right now, like to follow my passion, to follow my heartfelt desire. And I've been true to that. And I was very blessed that my parents supported me in doing what I wanted to do. Some decisions that I actually were questionable in terms of going on the stage and becoming a hypnotist, leaving teaching as a quote unquote secure job, that was questionable. But I had support with my parents. But more than that, it was my own decision that I'm going to do this. And I think after you followed your heart, the bliss we say, for years, it becomes a habit.
So that's interesting because your parents had this vision for you, whether they gave you the teaching vision or whatever. So your parents had this vision, and at some point in time, you said, "That's a nice vision, but it doesn't fit me." Where do you think this courage, this energy to turn away from what society has said that this is the safe career, Wayne,
Yeah.
and go follow this heartfelt, this passion?
Where did it come from?
Yeah.
Well, I think it came from me. I mean, I don't know if I have an answer that is um, going to articulate it in a way, because it's still like, why do we do anything? And for me, it was just following my heart. I mean, it was the fact that when I wrestled and I followed that and I put my heart and soul into that, there was something about doing something that you love so much and knowing that whatever I was going to do later on, that is going to have to be experienced. So again, you know, call it a calling, call it that knowing. And I never thought of being part of the norm, or like you said, my parents had a vision for me. In fact, my parents just wanted to be happy for me. They wanted to be, for me to be happy. I chose to go into university, become a teacher. My big goal was actually to go to the Olympics in wrestling. I never made that goal. I had a serious neck injury. So I was always searching for that passion, for that, you know, and I think it was a bit of an entertainer when I was young. I like to be on stage. I like to entertain. I like to be the clown at times, and I like the attention. And so I think looking at all those skill sets, I look at, you know, now back and go, that was all just part of the plan to take to me to where I'm at right now. Even the great failures or the great turning points in my life, I look at, oh my goodness, that was all part of the plan. That was all part of the silver lining that allowed me to do this pivot or that pivot. So that, you know, that's the answer I have for your question. Because you know, I can say, you know, it comes from source energy. It comes from a deep, you know, knowing of that we are the divine in and of itself.
Wonderful.
Wonderful,
And
and
thank you.
thank you.
So at some point in time, well, no, sorry, we all have icons. We all have people that we think are the success, the master illusionist, the mighty magician, or the Tony Robbins, the hockey, all of these people that have reached some form of pinnacle of that, oh, that's success.
Yeah.
What do you think separates? Is there they have a secret sauce that separates the mere mortals or the people that are just real? They may just be really good, but they're not great. What do you think is the separation, or is there, or what's the secret
Yeah,
sauce?
I think there is a separation. One, I think that, uh, it brings up a good point that I didn't necessarily add to what the answer was a few moments ago. Is that seeing models of people doing some great stuff? Like I used to watch the wrestlers, and I'd be like, man, that's awesome. What do I have to get to be that good? And asking those powerful questions are, first of all, opening up possibilities. And I think I did that from the get-go. Like, what do I have to do to get that good? How do I, you know, how do I get to be that level or that good in regards to wrestling or being a hypnotist? So I had really good role models, had good people to watch. And I think the people that pursue, it's not that they don't fail. They fail more times than the people even that, you know, think that they're going to go out there and succeed. They fail more times than that person succeeding, because they are continually practicing. They're going to continually, what I call stage time. You know, I've done over 6,000 performances. I think I've lost count. And the only way I got to this point in regards to getting as good on stage as I have is by messing up a whole bunch and actually going out and doing it. So I think, one, it's determination. It's definitely like stick to itness and knowing that there are going to be ups and downs. You're going to learn, and you're just going to, you know, keep going through it. And two, confidence. I think that, you know, my observation is a lot of people, they tell themselves they're not confident yet, or they're not confident enough. And it's like, okay, let's explore that for a moment. if you're telling yourself you're not confident yet, when are you going to be confident? And so
Tomorrow.
the phrase that I have is that you're as confident as you need to be right now to move forward, to play a bigger game, to learn what you need. And when you act as if, there's something so profound that I've picked up through the art of hypnosis that you start to become. And so I think people that are, and the people that I've studied and the success mentors and models that I've studied, they definitely have a sense of confidence that they've developed.
So what I heard some terrible things that you said. Wayne, you actually think that I need to have goals? What are you talking about?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Well, it's interesting because if people don't intentionally set goals, they're setting goals anyhow. Yeah, it's how our mind works, right? They're continually fast forwarding into the future, but most of it is riddled with fear and doubt as opposed to faith and confidence.
absolutely. And then the other part that I heard you say is that I'm beaten down. I don't want to get back up. And
Yeah.
what you're telling me is successful people get back up after they've been beaten down, and they
Yes.
learn to fail forward. I don't like any of that crap.
That's why, it takes obviously some how can you say, determination, focus. Focus is a powerful word in my vocabulary in regards to people getting focused and staying focused and programming themselves for that. So that's all true. I mean, I remember one of the great learning lessons I had in wrestling was when I was in grade 10, my coach asked me how well I wanted to do. And I was at a great club, one of the best clubs in Canada with one of the best coaches, the best trainers. And I said to him, I said, I want to do really well. And he said, no, Wayne, specifically, how well do you want to do? And it got me to stretch automatically. I just said, I want to make it into the finals of the national championships. He said, this is what you have to do. You got to work hard. You got to train this much. You got to condition. And he said, really important. He was a big believer in mental preparation. He said, you have to see yourself and visualize yourself as if you've already achieved that. And I want you to spend some time doing that every day. And so I did. And I did it to the point where I actually made it into the finals. And I achieved the gold. The next day I was going for the gold medal. I was so confident because the guy that I was wrestling, I had beaten in a previous tournament. And I get on the mat, the whistle blows, and guess what? I lost. And I was devastated. I was like, wow, I could have won that match. And I said to Glenn, my coach, I said, what happened? He says, well, what did you focus on all year long? Getting into the finals, not winning the gold. So I always ask people, what's your gold medal? Most people are not even going to the tournament. They don't even enter because they haven't even set their goal. And most people, the negative programming that happens is that they're very shy to set a goal or hesitant to set a goal because they've been programmed that if they set a goal, then they have to go out and achieve it. And if they don't, they're going to be failing. And it's all this overthinking of what happens. Instead of set the goal, go for it, go all in, and enjoy the frickin' ride.
Woohoo! Absolutely. So, what is this current version of Wayne Lee, feel and think success is? Like you talked about what the previous one, your younger self, but what is the Wayne Lee right here, right now, think success feels
I
like?
got
Or
one
is?
word. One word, and it's on this little book that I wrote years ago. And if you flip it over, it spells the word joy. And joy is an acronym that I've created, and it is the jewel of you.
Mm.
So joy comes from in the moment right now. And, there's a lot of people that talk about success. And success is really just defining what you want and then going out and achieving it, enjoying the ride. Enjoying the ride. A lot of people, they actually can be very successful and yet they're not feeling the fulfillment because they feel like they're lacking. And so when people understand that they're already whole, complete, and perfect, and they can create from choice, it frees them up, and then they can create whatever they want. Most people have been programmed subconsciously not to believe that, a version of that they're not good enough, there's not enough time, the list goes on and on. So the simplicity of success for me is joy, and to decide what I want, go out and achieve it, and enjoy the process.
But I'm not worthy.
Yes.
And what I'm discovering, and is through these conversations, is there's so much inner work to success. And the concept that you explained of joy in its in its essence, is so simple.
Yeah.
But for many people, the application and the practicality is overwhelming.
Yeah.
Can be.
It can be. Yeah. Yeah.
And
What people tell themselves is usually why they can't experience greatness, or they can't experience success, or why they can't do something. And that's just an old program that is stopping them from being who they really are. And I want to propose something. And this is the saying I have, is that we're hardwired for harmony, and yet we're conditioned into struggle. So aren't we here to experience joy? And the moment that we throw ourselves an insult or a put down, I mean, we talk terribly to ourselves, most people, you're actually countering the God force, the source energy within you, and you're going to feel tension and stress. I call it a frozen state versus the flow state. So I'll throw another acronym at you, another magical meaning. It's flow. Flow is feeling life or feeling love operate within. In any moment in the now, whether you're thinking of the future, the past, or you're fully present, you're either in a full state of flow, which is absolute pure bliss joy, or you're in some tension, stress, frozen state. And whatever you forecast out and broadcast it out into the universe, that magical spell casting, is what you get back. So when people really get that and they realize, wow, this is so important, they will be in states of gratitude. They will be in states of joy. They will have fun. They will be playful. They'll be curious, and they will be a creator.
Wonderful. And many people believe that it needs to be a struggle. And I'm going, the struggle is to keep in a state of joy, into a state of bliss. Yeah. So when you veer from it, thank yourself, be present to it, and then move back into it.
Be easy on yourself. You know, one of the biggest, like working with thousands of people, and especially during COVID, lots of coaching groups and one-on-one, one of the biggest blocks for people was this: I shouldn't be thinking that. I shouldn't be feeling that. And we've been taught to hide that or think. It's like, I just saw a post from one of my colleagues today, and she opened the door, lots of courage about what she went through over the last 2 years. And it was really harsh. And the whole premise is that it's okay not to be okay, like to be not okay. Like just know that how you are right now, you don't have to be any different. It's about being yourself. And so many people want to live up to this society norm or whatever you call it. And being quirky, being fun, being like, you know, making a mistake, all of that. I mean, I tell people right in the beginning of my hypnosis show is that the one thing that stops you from coming up here performing is the same thing that stops you in life. The fear of making a mistake and looking silly. And then I proceed to tell people you would do funny things without hypnosis. So get yourself up here. Hypnosis, you know, is really about how we're talking to ourselves all day long and our habitual thoughts. So I tell people, life is one big hypnosis show. Are you performing, or are you on the sidelines?
Yeah. And it's like, boom, we're at 20 minutes and it's like, holy smokes, thank you.
Well, you've been in a trance. I put you in a trance, Neil. So
it's worked. It's good. So is there something, last words of wisdom or a heartfelt share that you would like, or a word that you would like to leave our viewers and our listeners with?
Yeah, you know, when you asked me that question, I had a statement I was gonna actually leave the viewers with. This just popped into my head and came from my heart. So it's love. And love is life's only valuable essence. And so I want people to take that to heart, whatever that means to them, and be the joy, be the love.
Mm. Thank you, Wayne, for spending your time with myself and our viewers and our listeners in live and in replay.
Hey, Neil, it's been so awesome to catch up, to share, and there's big, amazing, brilliant things happening over this next year. Big shifts, as you know. So I just looking at everybody right now and knowing to be the creator that you are and create some epic stuff.
Thank you.